Greetings, my friends. Welcome to the Grit and Equity Talks podcast with yours truly, Dr. India White. I'm so happy to be here with you. I hope that you're winning this school year. I know many of you are starting the school year off, whether you're teaching, administration, or if you're a parent, a guardian, and you are just super excited about the new school year. To those entrepreneurs out there, I know you guys are rocking it out as well. Just happy to be here with you, wishing you nothing but great success this upcoming school year and that you're able to really shine in your purpose. With that said, I want to transition now and I want to make some announcements for you guys. So, first things first, the Grit and Equity Talks podcast with Dr. India White, it will be featured on the X Factor EDU network, hosted by Dr. Matthew Joseph and the Tribe. So, you'll find it and you'll also find it on Spotify. So, thank you so much, Dr. Matthew Joseph, and to the team there. So, check it out. It'll also be on social media. So, speaking of social media, you can follow me on Facebook is Miss India White. LinkedIn is The India White. Twitter is Indie Speak and Teach. Instagram is Indy238. YouTube is India White 123. And TikTok is Dr. India White. And Threads is Indy238. I also wanted to remind you to check out the website, www.india-white.com, for books, blogs, and to schedule me for a speaking event or for something that you're wanting me to help you out with in your school district and whatnot. Thank you so much in advance for that opportunity. I also wanted to remind you guys, I'll be there pretty soon with you guys in Minnesota. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity to all you rock stars there and NCSM. Looking forward to seeing the Tribe there, seeing the Tribe also at NCTM, also at ICTM in Iowa in October, and also at OCTM. And there are so many others, ATMNE and beyond. Thank you to all of you, those that aren't listed, some of those that you're just reaching out to me, asking me to be your keynotes. Thank you. The calendar is filling up. We're already looking also into 2025. So please go ahead and send me your emails and your asks, and let's get together and see how we can work together. Thank you so much. I also wanted to remind you to check out the Grit Mini Workshop. School is back in session. This is a great time for you as teachers to go to the Grit Mini Workshop at the Grassroots Workshop website. Give it a stab. Check it out. See what happens. And thanks in advance for that. I wanted to remind you this show here, if you're trying to close the achievement gap, but you're having classroom management issues, or if your students just aren't motivated to do work, then join me on the Grit and Equity Talks podcast, and we'll talk about a couple of things together. Make another announcement about the Grit Academy. It is, we are accepting students. So if you are a student wanting tutoring with me, please get with me, or a parent or a guardian or a school district, and you're wanting me to provide tutoring services for your school, please let me know. Send me an email. My email is scrolling down below, and it's india.white.123@gmail.com. And so with that said, I do want to go ahead and talk about my subject today, which is gritty determination. Again, we're going to talk today about gritty determination because we're in a new year and we all need to have a shift in our grit. We need more grit. And, you know, many of you have been working so hard and doing so many great things. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for owning that space that you are in the earth. And thank you for all of your contributions and for those that you're believing in and working hard for. But I do want to talk a little bit about grit and determination. And so I've already spoken to you guys about the definition of grit, which has been coined by Dr. Angela Duckworth, which I give her honor for that every time I come on here. She talks about grit is passion and perseverance to obtain a long-term goal. Look at her book called Grit. Check that out. I was able to do a TED Talk. I'm thankful for her work, which definitely contributed to my dissertation at the University of Florida, where I studied persistence. And as a result of that, I found that grit was very key for success and for determination. And so, as you know, the acronym for grit for me is great resilience and time. And so we're going to highlight a little bit about gritty determination. And I wanted to talk about this because, like, there's one thing to talk about grit, like just the soul identity of grit, but really having determination. So having that grit fuel your determination so that you can get some things done, that you can see success. Grit by itself, we already know, is just one proponent towards success, but it takes multiple factors of success. Grit is not a bad thing. It is something that is to be joined with other skill sets and other traits so that you can evolve and accomplish different things. And so, with that said, I do want to share my screen and I want to talk to you guys a little bit about what I was able to find for you. So, first things first, let's look at this together. So, this says grit and determination, the winning mindset of success. Okay, so again, it says gritty, determination, the winning mindset of success. And so I want to make sure my screen is big enough for y'all. So let's do this together. That guy looks really confident down there. Okay, so this says grit and determination, the winning mindset of success. Grit and determination are two qualities that help people achieve their goals and overcome challenges. It's the ability to persevere and to maintain passion for a long-term objective, while determination. So let's get the definitions down. So we already spoke about grit. It's the ability to persevere and to maintain passion. Determination, which I love as well, is the firmness of purpose and resolve to pursue a person's aim. Boom. And the thing I love about it is with my acronym, Great Resilience in Time, that determination is going to spit out a result in a certain amount of time. And that happens through grit. So it's really neat how these work together. So if you have grit and determination, you have to succeed, because it says here, you have a firmness of purpose. Well, it's not enough just to have a firmness of purpose. You need to have a goal, like a time limit as to when you need to obtain that particular goal or that particular purpose. Because if not, like for instance, I don't know about you, but I have been working on health management, weight loss, all that. And I want to do it in a way that that works naturally for me. So of course, I'm going to be watching my intake and things like that. But for how long, right? For how long? Am I going to do this only 3 days? If I do it for 3 days, am I going to hit my goal? Am I going to do it for 30 days? Am I going to do it for 60 days? A lot of dietitians and doctors and nutritionists will tell you, at least 3 months, right? Like give your body time to adjust and don't do it in a way that abuses your body, because if you do, you lose all the weight and then it comes back, right? So they talk to me about all that stuff. So they always give us a time frame as to if you want to lose 30 pounds, you need this much time. And I'm just using that particular example because this is what it's all about. When you're having a firmness of purpose, it's great, but you need to set a goal. You have to have time with it. And hey, I've been guilty at times where I've had passion and perseverance, but I've not had a goal, or I've not had a time frame as to when. So I might say I want to learn how to play the violin. That's great. That's great that I want to play the violin. I mean, yeah, I've played saxophone, rock out to the saxes. But when do I want to play violin? And listen, I am guilty of this. So I did this with the piano. I had piano lessons. Thank you, Miss Kathy. You are wonderful. If you're watching this, you are fabulous. Miss Kathy at the University of Florida was offering me piano lessons. And I felt really good, y'all. I mean, I was doing good. I had my beginner, book, and I was playing piano. I went and bought a keyboard. I was doing fabulous. And what happened? I stopped. No fault in Miss Kathy at all. Life happened. I got really gritty about other things. I never had a goal. Now, do I still have this passion in me to learn piano? Of course. I would love to play and, get so good to where I feel confident that I could play in a park or play in the mall or play, at an event, play at church, whatever. But it was to the point that I just stopped. And my grit for wanting to play piano just went out the door, not necessarily because I didn't have a lot of passion, but because I didn't keep going at it until I finished, until I had goals. I didn't goal set to say, okay, within the first month, I need to know ABC. Within the next, 6 months, I need to be at this level. Within a year, I want to be able to play without music. I want to be able to hear something and play by ear. I want to be able to improv. I didn't set goals, and therefore I suffer the consequences of not being that masterful piano player that could play in the mall right now. But hey, This is a thing that I can always pick up, because if I wanted to, I can have gritty determination. I can pick it back up again. And yes, I could play piano. Why? There's still resolve of passion. But what I need is a goal, and I need to have enough passion to persevere towards this goal. So in my case, why do I need to play piano when my passion right now, my main passion is education, math, students, teachers, principals, superintendents, right? So for me, I would be more passionate, I guess, if they had some type of math contest around the piano and something like that, right? That would probably stir the pot, especially if it's a contest, because there's a time, constraint on it, and there's a deadline. So that could, definitely get me more intrigued towards playing the piano. But I'm giving you this example about myself, because that's what's going on with our students and even with teachers. So teachers, you get a book and it's like, okay, teach your kids algebra 1. Okay. Yeah. You need goals. That's why it's imperative to go to PLCs and to have, department meetings, and to have, time where you're looking through curriculum and you're able to pace it out. Especially those pacing guides are wonderful, especially if you have, shout out to Alachua County, who does a fabulous job with this. But if you have pacing guides and you're trying to walk through, you need to have those pacing guides aligned to where it's giving you enough passion to say, okay, I can take a stab at this. Because if you give a teacher a math book and they're just starting, now some veterans, they can do it. They can teach the whole course, eyes closed, rock out with your bad selves, right? I know some people like that. But I'm talking about teachers that have been in the space 2 years, 3 years, whatever, and they need gritty determination. If you just throw a book at them, but you don't give them practical skills as to what's expected each month, or like how to pace or whatever, I can see how that's going to be very overwhelming, and they're going to feel like they might not be as prepared, even if they have a book, because they need something to cultivate that passion and that determination. In order to do that determination, you need to have some type of sense of purpose and some type of resolve. And that's one benefit of having, standardized tests, or tests that can really not only see where the students are, but can also reflect on teacher practice and how good the teachers, really relaying the content and teaching the content for students. So I think that's a, positive spin to testing. Testing, there has to be some part of testing to see where, where we all fit, right? So with that said, I'm going to go back to this article, because I just think it was so interesting what they're talking about with this gritty determination, and having that sense of purpose as you're doing this. So it talks about how both grit and determination are essential. They go together. They go together. Grit is a glue that sticks together all these other components. And it says how they are essential for success in any field or endeavor. Exactly. I've been saying this. I've been saying this for years. It's just good to read something that, okay. All right. So let's keep going. Okay. You've seen it before. Someone's life spirals out of control until they hit rock bottom, till they pick themselves up and work hard to restore what they've lost. They find the inner strength and determination. And we love that, right? We love when people do that. They don't play victim, right? They are able to get up and bounce back no matter what's happened. That's why I love people that have served our country, veterans, military people, doctors. Like, there's so many people that just have such a resolve, and they get back up, they bounce back. And so it's wonderful. Now look at the next time. So it says, you can do the same no matter what life throws your way. You have the power to tap into your inner strength and your willpower. With enough grit and determination, you can overcome any obstacle. Okay. I've been saying that, and I'm happy to have this confirmation. So again, with enough grit and determination, you can overcome any obstacle. We have to ignite the determination in students. We have to ignite, as educators, the determination within ourselves, that this isn't going to just be another school year, but we're going to do something different. We are going to be determined to see the results. I'll share this. So, when I was a beginning, educator, probably within my third year, I think that's when things started to change for me, where it was more than just, okay, I got a check. Thank God, I'm good. But it became like, is this my purpose? Am I good at this? And then it was like, I started questioning myself, and I hope this lights a candle within you. And I would say, if I'm good, where's the proof? Where's the proof? I got tired of, seeing the teacher down the hall that had 25 students hanging outside of the classroom to see her during lunch. And I wasn't getting those results. I would see the confident veteran teachers that would just come to work, riding their bicycle into work, so confident, and just rock out to those out there. You know who you are. And I just wasn't having that same confidence. I got tired of staying till 7:30, 8 o'clock at night doing lesson planning. And I was like, something has to give. Like, I've got to be able to grow in this craft and to grow in this talent. If this is what, my purpose is, this is what I'm called to do in life. Like, something had to give. And I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And that's when I got determined to start preparing over the summer more. I started coming in, looking at PLCs, looking at pacing guides over the summer. I started, really diving into those lessons and seeing the structure of the textbook. Is this the order that I want to teach in? Or do I need to, shift and do some things here? All the math is good, but what order is going to be best for delivery? And is it aligned with what the district is wanting as well? Then, getting connected with veteran teachers, humbling myself, doing learning walks, going and watching other teachers. I was determined to make a difference. I was determined to do something different because I was just tired of not getting those results. And then, after watching veteran teachers, and then them schooling me as well and say, hey, I know she did this, but check this. And they had beautiful constructive criticism that I took in. I was willing to learn. And I think that when you are determined, you're willing to learn, you're willing to be open, you're willing to, as an educator, take it to the next level. It's not a bad thing because somebody is pointing out a flaw. It's actually good. Thankful that they are saying something, right? And so, I just remember doing that. And then finally the results started to happen. And I had one teacher I worked with, this man here, he had 80 to 85% proficiency on the test, on the standardized state test. He was a rock star. And his classroom management, the kids were wiggly, right? Wiggly. But he got the results. And I was like, I've got to get those results. Like, I've got to get results. Like, I don't know what happens there, but we as educators have to get in that place where we're passionate about results. It's not enough just to know a little bit and be in the field. Oh, yeah, cool. We need results. If we really are good educators, show the data, show the graduation rates, show it. How can we show it? How can we contribute to the greatness of our students? How can we cultivate their grit? How can we harness their grit? How can we cultivate their passion towards our subject area of interest, to where it could be the math class, but you'll have kids leaving out saying, your class is my favorite class. And I never used to like math, but now I love your class. Like, those results happen, but it's going to take gritty determination from you as an educator, as a leader. And so thanks for letting me share that. I want to now get back to our article and talking about like that winning mindset and how we can, continue to cultivate grit and have that gritty determination as we're doing it this year. So it says in this article, they're going to talk about grit and determination and how you can use them to achieve your goals. They'll also offer some advice as to how to maintain it when it gets difficult. Excellent. Let's go. So what is grit and determination? So grit is what keeps you going when things get tough. It's a fire in your belly, right? That motivates you to keep pushing forward no matter what stands in your way. Okay. And that's why I talk about it's all about resilience. And then it says here, determination. Determination is about having a strong will to achieve something. You've got to get sick and tired of being where you are. You have to want change, and you have to realize you're the only one that can do it, right? It helps you to build power through obstacles and to stay focused on your goals. It's about knowing that if you want something badly enough, no obstacle will stop you. This is powerful from achieving it. So again, if you want something badly enough, no obstacle will stop you from achieving it. Determination doesn't mean it doesn't just mean I can do this. Determination means I'm going to do this. So it's like you're like, proclaiming your future. This is powerful. This is why we need like grit checks. We need kids to be, checking in about the grit um, on the regular basis. And so then here it says the relationship between grit and determination. So they're closely linked. It says grit is a combination of determination and passion, as it is the ability to stick with the difficult task or goal, even when it's not easy. They can persevere in the face of adversity, which makes them successful. Okay. And then here, determination, on the other hand, it means perseverance in the face of failure. Powerful. So you're getting back up. People with determination, they have a strong sense of purpose and they focus on overcoming obstacles. So these two qualities are closely related because determination is essential precursor for grit. People who are determined tend to have a higher level of grit compared to those who lack such traits. Remember, I think grit is a trait that we all possess, just at different levels. It's a trait that you can build with time as muscles, like as a muscle. So the importance of grit and determination for your success. He looks really happy. All right. So it says grit and determination, they're integral to achieving success. While we may not always feel strong enough to pursue our goals, having a sense of inner core determination can push us past our limits. The things we have to acknowledge, yes, there are limits. I don't care what the limits look like. They're there, but we have to push past them. It says grit and determination, they give us the courage to take risks and to face our fears. So it's important to cultivate and nurture these qualities within ourselves. So a little bit of self-care, a little bit of reflection and inner reflection and evaluation, right? It says here, if you are feeling particularly weak or discouraged, it can be helpful to turn to stories of people who faced similar challenges. This is why you need representation of those that have been through, right? But they refuse to give up until they achieve their dreams. This is powerful. And then it talks about, by tapping into our stories of grit and determination, we can develop an I can do anything attitude that will help us move forward towards progress, toward our goals. This is why I told you guys one of my last podcasts about the high schooler that obtained $1 million in scholarships, and he was a valedictorian. He's a first generation student. You can find that video online. I used to show it every year as a starter for the year, at least within that first week, to motivate my students, especially seniors, into building grit and into being motivated throughout the year. And whenever they get discouraged, I would have them reflect on that student and say, remember, he had all kinds of things going on as well. But, you are, human just like him. And, through perseverance, you're going to obtain greatness. I would never compare the two. Whenever you're talking about grit, it's not about comparison. It's about building your particular inner trait. So it's a contest within yourself. It's being a better version of yourself, right? So with that said, that's something that we did there. So it's really neat that they were pointing that out in the article. And so I want the importance of grit to achieve success. So grit, it helps you to stick to your goals, right? But when you set goals for yourself, it won't be simple at first. So if you have enough grit, you'll be able to stick to your goals instead of having to give up halfway through, right? It's like reading a book. If you're not necessarily interested in reading that book, you'll stop halfway, and then what happens? You put it on the shelf, you forget about it. 2 months later, you look at it, you're like, maybe I'll take it on the plane and things like that. So it's the ability to continue to persist all the way to the end, right? In her book, Grit, Dr. Angela Duckworth, she likens grit to a muscle. Okay, or something that needs to be developed and strengthened if you want to reach your goals, right? So, and then let's keep going. So it says grit requires a plan, a strategy, and importantly, an attitude. It requires having realistic expectations of ourselves and of our goals, as we're being aware of our strengths and weaknesses to create an environment where growth is possible. Growth has to be possible, and you have to believe that growth is possible, right? That's that sense of self-efficacy. And then here it says, practicing self-awareness and self-compassion can help us to develop a mindset that will allow us to tap into our inner strength easily. That's what it's all about. We all have the inner strength. It's almost like grit is like blowing up a balloon. And it's like sometimes when you have a lot of grit, like you feel like you can conquer the world. You can run a marathon. You can do so many things. Your grit level is out of this world. But sometimes life happens and that grit level goes down. It's like, being deflated by life, by disappointments, by people saying no, by different things, different disappointments or whatever. But you have to learn how to blow up your grit balloon again and inflate it again with self-care, self-efficacy, inflating it again with having a plan, having time management, having a growth mindset, different things like that. Fill up your grit balloon with different things that are going to help to cultivate grit and to keep your grit going until you're able to accomplish that goal. So I hope that helps you guys as we talk today about gritty determination and what that looks like, especially in the education space. Our students are going to need you to help them to cultivate grit. Many of them, especially math, listen, many of your students they're afraid of math, and so they have anxiety. They might not necessarily like you as an educator, and so you might have some pushback here and there. So I want to encourage you to keep going. Don't take it personal. Learn how to, fill up their balloon, their grit balloon, and to keep them going as they're pursuing these goals. So with that said, guys, thanks so much for joining me today on the Grit and Equity Talks podcast with yours truly, Dr. India White. Couple of announcements and then we'll be out of here. First things first, the Grit and Equity Talks podcast will be featured on the X Factor EDU network with Dr. Matthew Joseph and the tribe. So check it out. You can listen to it on Spotify. Thank you, Dr. Matthew Joseph, for that. Also, check out my website, www.india-white.com, for books, blogs, and to schedule me. Many of you have been doing this. Thank you so much. Please continue to put in your requests. And especially for those that have been putting in requests to come speak and stuff, don't delay on that. Get it in when you can because the calendars are working right now. We are working through, different plans, different events right now as we speak. So get in the ring. Let's do this. Thank you in advance. Facebook, you want to follow me, guys? Let's do it. Facebook is Miss India White. LinkedIn is The India White. Twitter is Indie Speak and Teach. Instagram is Indie238. YouTube channel is India White 123. And TikTok is Dr. India White. Thank you in advance for following me on all these social media platforms. I am going to do my best to have one main handle. But for now, until I figure out what I want the handle to be, we're going to play with what I have here. So thanks in advance. All right. I'll see you guys in Minnesota at the end of August. Can't wait to see you rock stars there. We're going to talk about grit. And NCSM, can't wait to see y'all. Can't wait to see you at NCTM. Thank you to all the leaders there. You're fabulous. Thank you for those opportunities. ICTM, I'll see you guys there in Iowa in October. That is our plan. Also in OCTM and ATM and E and so many others. And thank you to all of you out there. Thank you so much. I can't wait to mingle with you and see you at all these fabulous events. And again, this podcast is if you were trying to close the achievement gap, but you're having classroom management issues or the students just aren't motivated to do the work, jump on this podcast, get some ideas, take it back to your team, reach out to me. Let's have some conversations. Let's work together. Let's build grit together. So with that said, guys, thank you so much for joining me again on the Grit and Equity Talks podcast. And until next time, stay gritty. See ya.